Hello everybody and welcome to Fruits Basket Season 2 episode 22, I think we're on, Anime Review. Another Yuki episode, we've had a lot of them recently, but this seems like it was the final Yuki episode in the set, you know. We've had like 3 in a row, this is like the final part of the Yuki trilogy. We'll call it the Yuki trilogy, why the heck not? And yeah, it was good, it helped us kind of figure out exactly what Yuki wants and what Yuki wants to do going forward, which is good. I've got kind of an idea in my head where I think it might be going. I've noticed it for a few weeks, but like now this week sort of hammered the point home to me, and we'll get to that a bit later on. But also had some Kyo stuff this week. Basically, despite Yuki thinking that Toru is like his mum, he's basically being a papa to Kyo right now. He's like, all right, son, stop acting up, behave yourself, get on with it. You know, basically what Yuki's up to at the moment. But hey, we need to have. I guess we're gonna start Kyo's, I don't want to call it redemption, but his path. I don't know what to call it. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll finish that in this season. We've got what, 3 episodes left? Maybe it'll wrap up with the Cinderella. I think that's probably, having not read the manga, that seems like a good place to end the season. But as I said, not read the manga, so I don't know. But anyway, let's get into the episode, see exactly how everything went down, and do this thing. Yuki talks about how at first Toru was just a weird classmate to him, which at first I was like, that's a bit harsh to poor Toru, but then I was like, no, she did kind of come across as kind of weird, and basically just let her stay because he wanted to, it was his little way of rebelling against the Somas, because, hey, they probably wouldn't be alright with that, so Yuki's like, I'm going to do that just to annoy them. Makes a little bit of sense. It changed when she said, hey, let's become friends again, even if my memory gets erased, basically. That's when things started to change for him. Kakeru doesn't quite get it. Like, he explains to Kakeru, he's like, okay, so she's like a mom? He's like, do you want my mom? Like, he's a bit confused. I get the sense he's trying to get it, but it's not something that you can just get, you know? It's a very... I mean, let's say that Yuki's situation is very, you know... It's not exactly a normal situation, what everything they've got and everything. Yuki tells him all about it and how he feels about it, and he thinks Rin sort of feels the same, that she's like a mother. Like, and that's why, you know, we had the bit with Rin crying into her lap whenever that was. A few weeks ago. I've forgotten how long ago that was. He thinks he realised this the night that Kyo transformed, when she went off running after him. He was just thought, oh, you know, she's like a mum. And then, of course, he pretended not to notice all that because he was embarrassed. And that's why he tried acting super flirty, because, you know, he was like, I'm not going to pretend she's not like a mum, and actual flirty, like I like her instead. And that answered one of my questions, because I was just like, he turned super flirty out of practically nowhere, and it was kind of weird, because it was like, okay, that's a bit weird. But now that he's explained it, it makes a heck of a lot of sense when you think about it. Kakeru, but he says that it felt wrong to do all the flirting. Kakeru says, hey, are you just sure you're not just thinking like that because in your head you've already given her up to Kyo and everything. And Yuki's just like, I can see it in their eyes. They both like each other, but that's not what this is. I don't want that. I want a mum, damn it. I want, you know, that's basically how it is. He wants to discover. My interpretation of this, it is sort of vague when you look at it, is he wants to find, you know, he wants to find someone too, but he doesn't want to rely on Toru, because he's sort of been relying on Toru. The whole thing is sort of him stop relying on Toru all the time, which makes a lot of sense, you know, but what can you do? Kakeru, again, it sort of gets it, but sort of doesn't, and he decides basically, being serious is really difficult, so he just kicks a football at Yuki's head. He might have even thrown it, I can't remember. And then they just have a fight where they throw a soccer ball for all you Americans out there. A footy ball. Footy is what we call it. They do that a lot and everything. Then Kimi shows up and punches Kakeru for bullying poor Yuki. But hey, what can you do? Poor Kakeru. He feels better after all that, because she was all like, you felt nauseous after the thing. He's like, huh, I feel better now. But I sort of think he was thinking about, hey, after getting all that off my chest, it's just like a weight's lift on you. You know, if you've ever like kept something secret, and then when you finally let it out, it does feel like the weight of the world is off your shoulders. That sort of thing. Kakeru sort of covers for Yuki when Kimi asks, hey, what were you talking about? Because he says, he basically sort of gets her to think they were talking about dirty things. Which, good guy Kakeru. Like, Kakeru's an idiot, but he's the loyal type of idiot you want as a best friend. And yeah, Yuki says to him later, yeah, I don't want to worry anyone. I don't want to burden anyone. And then Kakeru's like, it's fine to burden me. And then he acts like it's a terrible burden. And it's funny because he is the ultimate, like, I call him a serious prankster. Like, him being, like, funny and being, you know, the class clown, he's doing it to lighten the mood. He's not, like, he reads the room really well. Because he's like, it's serious, what can I do to lighten the mood a little bit? And then he does it. I like him, actually, considering, I said before, considering how much I didn't really like the student council at first, Kakeru especially has really grown on me. But then, yeah, Yuki's going like, one day I'll tell her. Could be implied it was Kimi. It's probably bloody Toru, though. You know, the way he was talking about it, like, Kakeru, the way they were talking, it should have been about Kimi, but Yuki saying it, you get the, what's the word? Double layers. He was also talking about Toru and everything. It's sort of how it is, but hey, then Yuki, keep on moving on, my friend. Toru is at home, freaking out over a script because she's got a million lines, because she's, what, the evil stepmother, or she's stepsister? I think she was the stepmother. You get what I'm saying. She's freaking out her lines. Shigure has a look and finds out that Kyo is the prince, and has a little bit of a laugh. Kyo shows up and is like, why is that down here? What have you done, Toru? You've betrayed me, and everything. He basically says, better not tell Shisho about this, and Toru just looks away like, I promise I won't, and he's just like, I don't believe that, Toru, you're lying to me right now. Then they basically play around like she's trying to grab the script. It's very, very nice, and then Yuki shows up and is like, can I just get to my room, please? I just want to go upstairs. Kyo literally jumps out of his skin. He's like, how long were you there? How long were you there, Yuki? What the hell's going on? And he's like, I've been here long enough. And then Toru goes to go check the potatoes or whatever it was. Yuki tells Kyo, hey, you remember the hat? Toru's got that now. And Kyo just gets all pissed off. He's like, the hat. I've been remembered. I've been reminded that I actually hate you. Grr. And then he skedaddles for a bit. Yuki thinks that, hey, Kyo better get his act together and everything. He wants Toru to be happy, does old Yuki. He's like, I want you to find happiness. Secretly, maybe not secretly, but I think he's rooting for Kyo. Like, he's like, I know they'd be happy together, so I'm rooting for it. That's what he wants. He's almost in the background sort of helping. Like, he's, like, later on, we'll get to it, but he basically tells Kyo, like, hey, sort yourself out because, you know, you're worrying Toru, basically. Like, yeah, Kyo got all pissy with him, we'll get to it later. But, it worked in the end, so Yuki, I think he's almost going to have to play the bad guy to get them to be happy, is sort of how it's going. In a little bit, not exactly, but you get what I'm saying. So Yuki called Ayame to do the costumes for the play, because, hey, that's a great idea, that's a really good idea, actually. Toru and them rehearsing for the play, it's not going too well. The mean girl in the Yuki fan club runs off after getting a Yuki-induced nosebleed, as you do. And then they finally realise, just this girl to the side, like, you know what, I think we might have miscast our play here, we might have a problem. As you do. We get a little flashback, and it's like, no, I've got to try my best because Ayame and Mine went to all that travel. We get a little flashback of them showing up and causing all the shenanigans at the school. It was fine, I don't have much to add on it, it was good. I think the notable thing here was Hannah wants to be like a Cinderella in a pure black dress, which I'm like trying to figure that out in my head, and I'm like, it's going to be a very different kind of movie. Movie? Play, just because of that. This girl decides, hey, instead of recasting everyone, let's just change the story. And so I guess they're going to rewrite the script to fit their cast better. So I guess Toru's going to be the slightly evil stepmother. The mildly unpleasant stepmother. I don't even know if Toru could pull off mildly unpleasant. Just the stepmother? I'm struggling here. And they talk about the other class play about where there's like, I don't know the story because it's like a Japanese story, I'm assuming. And obviously, you can probably tell, I'm not Japanese, so I don't know none of that. Toru then makes a request like, hey, could you make the prince role easier for Kyo so, you know, he'd actually show up to practice, please, because I miss Kyo. He's my boo, basically. Basically, but not basically. And Yuki says, hey, don't worry, Toru, I'll go look for Kyo while I'm on my way to the student council. I got it sorted. Don't you worry, my friend. he finds Kyo sitting on the stairs, literally sulking, and he's like, Kyo, stop sulking. I think what his exact words were, like, I like this, because he says, like, do you enjoy worrying everybody and Toru? And then, like, later on, when Kyo has the flashback, he just remembers him saying Toru. So, I like that. Shows how much Kyo actually likes her. Kyo feels like Yuki is mocking him, like, everything he's saying is like, you had it so easy, you have parents, you know, you get everything handed to you. When after the last few episodes, like, someone just needs to sit Kyo down and play the last few episodes for him. Like, look, Kyo, look at what Yuki had to go through, you know? They need to have that conversation where they need to understand each other. Maybe they can't, because Kyo's like, you'll never understand me, and I don't think that's true. I think at this point, Yuki be like, tell me, I want to understand what you've been through and everything. That's all they got to do to be besties, in my opinion. I know maybe I'm being wildly optimistic because Kyo is a bit of a tsundere, just to put it mildly. But you know what I'm saying. Yuki stares at him. He's got like this smile on his face, like, I've accepted what I've got, and you know, because of that, like, it was like Kyo was trying to rile him up, but it didn't rile him up, and then Kyo got all mad and punched his hand through a window. That belongs to the school, Kyo. That's public property. You have to pay for that. Then he goes off in a huff, as you do. Machi and her friend, who I don't think we know, I think she's just a random girl, show up, and the girl, not Machi, the other one, is all over Yuki, like, senpai, basically, I'm so disappointed you're not the prince. Hey, Machi, don't you think that flipping Yuki would be a good prince? And Machi's like, no, there's nothing prince-like about Yuki. Which, the girl takes it to mean like, man, she's such a bitch. She hates everyone. She talks down on everyone. Yuki, though, I feel like he's taken that completely differently. It's like, oh my god, she sees me for more than just a prince, you know? So that brings me to, basically, I think Yuki's going to end up with Machi. Like, out of everyone, to me, that's the one that makes the most sense. It could also be that Yuki doesn't need to get with anyone. And honestly, I don't think he does really. Like, the way his character's going, that's not really the end goal of it. But out of everything, that's the thing that seems most likely to me at the moment. Again, could be wildly off. Don't tell me, obviously, because they're doing the whole series. I don't want to be spoiled. Duh. And yeah, and Yuki's look on Yuki's face, it was sort of like surprised, but it wasn't like upset surprised. It was like relieved. Is relieved a good word? Relieved surprise. It was, you know, he didn't take it bad. He took it well, I think, is sort of what I think. And hopefully that goes somewhere, and I think it might. Later on, Kyo shows up to class to get his bag, I guess. Toru's there waiting alone for him, basically because she wanted to show him the script and everything. And she's very excited. She's going through it all, and Kyo's just looking there a bit surprised. He then lowers his head very close to her ear. I thought he was whispering something, but he just hangs his head there, I guess. And then, you know, when she sees his wound, he remembers what Yuki said about, hey, stop causing trouble for Toru. Because of that, he so I guess subconscious thinks like, fine, I guess I'll give it a go. And has a look at it and everything. And then when he turns his back away from Toru, she's got the biggest blush on her face. And it's like, oh my god, it's going to happen. Like, I'm going to jump out of my seat when that happens. That's going to be a proper, like the meme of, like, the whole pub cheering. Like, that's going to be basically what I'm like in my little room by myself. But it's going to be great. All around the world, there'll be people in their little rooms cheering. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that was the end of the episode. It looks like we've sort of transitioned from Yuki-centric to sort of Kyo-centric now. Maybe that's just me. But, hey, more Matchmaker Yuki, like, him just helping from the background, like, try to help Kyo basically sort out his crap, because, like, why doesn't he want the hat now that Toru, I guess it's because he's like, oh, the rat touched it, I don't want it anymore, but, like, come on, Kyo, behave, like, sort yourself out now. I think that's the way it's gonna go, is like that. Maybe Toru will let Kyo take the credit for the hat, he'll be like, just say it was you, you know, sorry, maybe Yuki will let Kyo take the credit for when he gave Toru the hat. Be like, look, I don't, just say it was yours. It makes more sense. I could be wrong on that though, maybe not. That doesn't seem, that's a very ungenuine thing. And they're very genuine in this show. They don't lie to each other often. They conceal the truth, but that's basically to stop people from being hurt. Anyway, I've been rambling for a bit now. Been rambling for a lot. It was a good episode. Shocker, it was another good episode. It's so annoying. Every episode's good. I'll run out of things like words to say good. But anyway, what was my favourite part of the episode? My favourite part of the episode was, I was looking through it, because it was such a solid episode throughout, like, it was really a struggle to pick. But I think in the end what I decided on is basically Yuki sort of not realising, but stating what he wants. Like, hey, he doesn't want to be with Toru romantically. He doesn't need that, that's not what he wants. He's perfectly happy for her and Kyo to be a thing. What he wants, he wants to make it, pave his own way, sort of. And I appreciate that, Yuki, I like the way they're going with it. And I also like, despite that, Yuki is like, I still want the best for you, and I'm going to help out wherever I can. Like, I'm going to tell Kyo to sort his ideas out. Like, I'm going to help. I like that a lot. I like that. I'm not going to say Yuki's become a background character, because that's not what I mean at all. But, like, in the, I guess, the Toru-Kyo love story, we got background Cupid Yuki just with one of them heart bows or something. I don't really know. And a slap on the wrist to Kyo to sort his ideas out. I like it a lot. I like the new direction for Yuki, because it looks like he's got a direction now. Before he was sort of aimless, not in a bad way, that was the whole point, like he was him finding what he wanted to do. And I like that. I like that he's got some direction and we know what he's going to do now. It's nice to see. But anyway, yeah, the end of the episode, it was good. We've got, 3 episodes left in this season, I think? I think it's 3, I think we're 20, yeah, it's 22, I think it's a 25. We've got 3 episodes left, I'm going to say. And yeah, I'm excited to see where we go next. I'm excited to see the revised Cinderella play. Like, that feels like such a, like, in most anime that would be a big deal, but for me it's like that's a background thing for all the other stuff that could happen between like Toru and Kyo. Yuki's there, but I do want to see. I think it'll be funny because Hana and Kyo as the leads. I mean, I was going to say you can't go wrong with that, but I think the whole point is you can go wrong with that. That's the whole idea of it. I also, because they wrote the script, I want to see this sort of dark Cinderella that they got to have Hana being, I presume. It's going to be exciting. Like, we're going to have like a more evil Cinderella and like the basically not evil stepmother. It's going to be interesting. That is for sure. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care, and bye guys.